My friends, how are you? It's great to see you for yet another video. And if you guys caught my last video, I started it off by referring to Maga as the laziest, most entitled brats I have ever seen in my life. And as you can imagine, my friends, when you make an inflammatory statement like that, you tend to get some pushback on the internet. And boy, howdy, did I get some pushback on the internet from it. My friends, I had to listen to such devastating arguments like, no, I'm not, you are, which hurt a little bit. That hurt my feelings a little bit. I had to deal with the brutal suggestion that I get a job, my friends. We never mind the fact that I stand in my job every time I record these videos for you guys. That doesn't matter. Maga doesn't really like facts now, do they? And also, my friends, the one that broke my heart and sent liberal tears streaming down my cheeks was when I was told to get out of my mom's basement and go out and see the real world. My God, did that hurt my feelings. Mom, what the hell is going on here? Mom watches my videos sometimes. I don't know if she's watching this one. But what's going on with this fucking basement? This place is fucking weird. I don't like it. Let me out, please. Anyways, yes, I was hit with absolutely devastating arguments, my friends, which made me pause for a minute and think about what I have done. Do you know why? Because I'm not like Donald Trump and I'm not like the Maga movement. I'm not a complete fucking lunatic. I have empathy for other people. I care about how I made them feel. Sometimes, not always, sometimes I enjoy being kind of a dick, but sometimes I care about how I make people feel, so I had to sit back and think about it and say, did I go too far? Was I too mean to the Maga movement? And then I thought about it, my friends, and it occurred to me that one of the pillars of the Maga movement is to make my daughters basically one day an indentured servant of some dimwit man that can't even tie his shoes, let alone cook his own goddamn dinner, that wants to strip my daughters of their rights to vote, at very least in this country, amongst other rights, and keep them barefoot and pregnant and make them be a little baby factory for them. I realize, my friends, that I have not gone far enough. I have not been mean enough, if I'm being completely honest with you. When I think about it, well, my friends, this isn't that crazy to say. I love my daughters, and their rights will be stripped from them over my dead body. You will have to go through me first. So when I put all of that into context, I realized I haven't fucking been mean enough. So I thought about this. Why is it that I have come to the conclusion that the Maga movement is a bunch of lazy, entitled brats, and I want to point that out? Well, because somebody's got to call out the bullshit and the hypocrisy of the entire movement, and it might as well be me. I get told every day I'm going to catch an ass kicking for running my mouth on the internet, so I might as well go all out and earn that ass kicking, my friends. That's what I'm trying to tell you. That's what I'm trying to tell you. So I want to talk about a couple reasons why I've come to the conclusion that Maga is a bunch of lazy, entitled brats. And the first thing I want to talk about is they're always looking for government handouts. Am I the only one that's noticed that? They are always looking for the government to give them money, and we're going to talk about it. You remember back during Donald Trump's first administration, when he absolutely crashed the economy by denying science, acting like a virus wasn't real, and got millions of people laid off from their jobs or fired, got another million Americans killed, and sent the supply chain into an absolute crisis. Well, we needed a bailout. We needed, what's it called? A stimulus check, my friends. And if you remember, the stimulus checks were passed by a Democratic Congress that was well aware that we were getting the shit fucked out of us out here, and decided they would give us a handout, not a handout, that's not what I meant to say, a leg up, and so we could maybe get shit on track a little bit while we figure out what the fuck we're going to do. And if you remember, those checks got held up. They weren't allowed to send them out until they were all signed with Donald Trump's name at the bottom. Remember when Donald Trump did nothing and took a victory lap? That doesn't really narrow it down much, does it? He's always fucking doing that. Well, since then, the entire Maga movement has become accustomed to the idea that they are going to get a government check for doing absolutely fucking nothing. And you remember the last round of that when Elon Musk came in. Remember Elon Musk? Yeah, that was a real fucking shit show, the whole Doge initiative. And he started raising hell in our entire government, firing the veterans, firing other workers, cutting off VA benefits to the veterans, starving children in poor countries. You know, all those horrible things Elon Musk was doing. Don't worry, I'm not done. Having airplanes crash because he didn't realize we need air traffic controllers, getting people killed that were just trying to take a goddamn vacation. And Elon Musk and Donald Trump had promised the American people that they were all getting a $5,000 check from all the waste fraud and abuse that Doge had discovered. And fucking boy, did we have to hear about it from Maga. They were running around the internet to fucking rub our noses in it and say, we fucking told you Donald Trump was gonna come through for us. And for me, I didn't really like that too much because, call me crazy, but I have this thing called work ethic, my friends. When I need $5,000, what I normally do is I work my ass off until I have that $5,000. The last thing I do is go, oh God, I hope the government is going to bail me out on this. Whatever will I do? And I have documented proof of that evidence. I've been around YouTube for a long time. There have been times in my life where I've spent 6 months straight on the road without ever seeing my home because, well, I did something stupid and got myself in a financial bind, and I had to go out there and work. It never occurred to me to wait for a government check to come in, right? Now, never mind that Doge check was literally mathematically impossible, but the MAGA movement isn't really known for their math skills now, are they? Doge didn't save any fucking money, right? But $5,000 to all Americans came out to like this insanely absurd fucking number that just wasn't even possible, right? Not to mention that Congress had never approved it, and the check was never going to happen, is the fucking point. But I can bet you, my friends, I can 100% bet you that there were millions of dipshits out there that completely upended their entire financial life based on them believing that they were going to get a government check from Elon Musk and Doge and Donald Trump for $5,000 based on the simple fact that they just said that they were going to. And I can promise you somebody went out there and put them like a $3,000 down payment on one of those Ram trucks so they could roll coal or whatever it is they do. The thing that makes them feel like really tough, where it blows smoke and then it makes them feel like they're tough. I don't know. I'm not able to connect the dots to how MAGA's brains work all the time. When I blow smoke, it doesn't make me feel tough, but you get the fucking point. Or they might have went out and put like $3,000 into the Trump meme coin, convinced they were going to become millionaires, while their wife's freaking out going, what are you doing? We need that money. And they're like, don't worry about it, baby. That $5,000 check's coming any minute. What I'm trying to tell you is they were incredibly reliant on a check that didn't exist, that they wanted for free from the government. That's lazy. That's what I'm fucking trying to tell you. Nothing's free, my friends. You have to go out there and work. You have to go get it if that's what you want, right? And this is just a recurring theme with the MAGA movement, how they are quick to line up for handouts from the government, and they want that money. They want that free money for doing absolutely nothing. And if that's not lazy, then I don't know what the fuck is, because my friends, I work every day of my life. It's very rare. You guys have been watching me for a while. It's very rare that I sit around the house. Sometimes I do. Yeah, sometimes I do that. But I work every day of my life and do not expect the government to come hand me a check, right? And that's one of the reasons. And one of the other reasons that I want to talk about is this whole hysteria about the Mexicans took our jobs, all this bullshit. Have you ever watched these guys get their panties in a bunch over their job being stolen, which never fucking happened in the first place, yet they're still very, very worked up about it? And they say women are too emotional to be the president, but we've got people that are worked up about an imaginary made-up scenario that never happened. The first thing I want to address with this, my friends, for the people that don't know, that aren't fucking paying attention, Mexican immigrants are one of the pillars of the United States economy. They contribute massively to our lifestyle, to our economy, and the list probably goes on and on and on of all the things they do. But they work their asses off in backbreaking jobs that we just straight up won't go do. Me, I won't go do it because I'm pale as fuck, right? I fucking sunburn fucking easy. I ain't going out there to pick fucking produce. I promise you that. And I've made the argument, I mean, I've said always that you can make the argument that that is exploitation of people, and you would like to see higher wages and all those things, and we could totally have that argument. That's an argument or a discussion worth having for sure. But the fact of the matter is that Mexican immigrants provide our food for us. They come in, work their asses off. They make sure that our chubby asses are fed, and they do it without bitching. I don't think with bitching. I don't fucking know. I won't see me in a field field, so I don't know if they're bitching or not, but they go out there, do it, they work hard, and we are the beneficiaries of that. Also, when it comes to like house construction, that is a huge industry that Mexican immigrants work in, that helps the American people. They go out there and they work hard on that also. And I often hear people make the argument, well, these houses are built like shit these days, no quality of work, low effort, all those things. And I can promise you, my friends, that it is a white man at the top, a rich white man at the top of that entire operation that is cutting corners and trying to save costs any way possible so that he can profit more, is what's going on, so that he can profit more. And that's why houses are built like shit now. And which leads me to the bigger point, right? It's always the billionaire convincing you that the Mexicans are doing something to you, so you look at them because you're dumb as shit, obviously, and you go, it is that Mexican that is causing me my problem. Meanwhile, the millionaire or billionaire at the top of the housing development is raking in so much extra fucking money off of building you a cheap piece of shit house that he didn't pay that much to have built. How about that? How about that? $300,000 house, and he paid jack shit to get it built for you. But anyways, you hear a lot of this absolute nonsense about how all our jobs have been stolen by Mexican immigrants in America. And I was raised around that, my friends. That's all I was told my whole life. And I've never actually seen it fucking happen. I don't know how I escaped being Maga either. But at some point in my life, I just looked at all the shit that I was told when I was growing up and said, maybe this isn't fucking true. Maybe these people are full of shit. And I think a lot of people never bothered to question the people around them and realize that they're completely full of shit. But the fact of the matter is, your jobs are not being stolen by Mexican immigrants. I travel all over this country, my friends. Today I'm in Nebraska. Yeah, you know what that means? Cornfields. As far as the fucking eye can see, cornfields. I kind of like driving across Nebraska because it's flat and no one's here. It's an easy day, but it's goddamn boring is the point I'm trying to make. Anyways, what I'm not seeing is a sea of goofy fucking red hats out in these fields getting the work done. All the jobs that they swore they were being locked out of the economic life they could have if it wasn't for those Mexicans. And then you don't see them out there grabbing those jobs. You're actually seeing sometimes now. Now, remember that Taco Donald also caved on this. He decided that they were going to stop sending ice after the farms because he realized that it was going to cause economic harm to America, the dumb son of a bitch. All he had to do was listen to someone that's smarter than him, which is virtually everyone, and he would have known that that was the fucking truth. But for a while there, you were even seeing ads posted online for farms that were looking for labor. They were hiring. You know, in my lifetime, I've never seen a help wanted sign for a farm because the farm workers know that they're going to go back every year. They're going to work and it works. It works fucking absolutely brilliantly. But the point I'm trying to make, when people talk about, so let me try to say this the right way. This is a group of shitheads that didn't really try too hard in life, my friends. And I get it. Life's exhausting. I don't necessarily like trying hard either, right? But didn't necessarily try hard in life. So they bitch about not being further ahead. And then they blame a group of people saying that they stole their job. So now they have started using this term DEI hire, where they attack everyone that's different from them and say that person is the reason that I have not achieved financial prosperity. And how would Maga say this to me if I was bitching about something? Cope harder, motherfucker, because if you didn't get where you wanted to be in life, look, I'm going to extend a little bit of an olive branch. This society, this country is 100% stacked against us in the interest of the fucking billionaires. 100%. They got it all figured out how to keep us working just long enough for us to fucking die and not be a burden to them anymore, and how they rake in a whole shitload of profit off of doing that, right? But the fucking point is, it is stacked against us. It 100% is. But it is not that. You guys get me so damn frustrated, Maga, that I can't fucking think straight sometimes. The fucking point I'm making is, it is and always has been the billionaires that are throwing you under the bus and making sure that you are broke 100% of the time. And you are the party of billionaire bootlickers, which is fucking absurd. I don't know if you think like you lick their boot and you're going to get rich or what you think is going to happen, but they're not interested in giving you any of the money. So they have given you an enemy to fight against, so that you don't really know who's robbing you. And it's not the Mexican that's stealing your money. It is that billionaire that you're bowing down to, that you're sucking the tit of right now, that is actually causing you the fucking problems, right? But they come up with this term DEI hire, blamed. Well, DEI is a real thing. It's not a bad thing, is what I'm trying to say. The right has done what they always do, and they vilified something that was perfectly fine. It was just there, and people were like working with that system, and the right went, oh God, I'm angry about this because they're a bunch of grumpy motherfuckers, right? Anyways, the point I'm trying to make is, instead of trying harder, instead of trying to learn a new skill, instead of refining the skill set that you have, instead of finding a side hustle, instead of putting in that extra work or that extra time and earning yourself a promotion at your job, it's easier, much lazier, but much easier to just go, well, it's that brown person over there's fault that I haven't fucking got ahead in life. And to me, I think that's a shitty thing to do. I think it's a lazy thing to do. I think it's a fucking cop-out, and I think that maybe you should get your shit together and try harder instead of blaming other people. That's what I think. Basically, the point of that entire tangent there, because I kind of lost my way, I will acknowledge that, is that this entire movement is so goddamn lazy that they have basically, they are operating the levers of government in a way that tilts the playing field in their favor, because they weren't smart enough, strong enough, hardworking enough, dedicated enough, anything you want to put on that list, to compete with the people around them, to outwork that person around them. So they decided instead to use the actual federal government, the party of small government, my friends, use the federal government to fuck off a completely different group of people that was just trying to mind their business and take care of themselves. And to me, that feels like a very lazy thing to do. If you can't compete in the workforce, if you can't keep up, if you can't earn yourself that promotion, if you can't find yourself a better job that you want, if you can't start your own business, if you can't do any of those fucking things, it's not the world's responsibility to drag you along. You couldn't fucking do it. You weren't motivated enough, okay? And like I said earlier, America sucks as far as, it's a capitalist hellscape is what I'm trying to tell you. But you're blaming the wrong fucking people. That's what I'm trying to tell you. You're yelling at the wrong fucking people, and you are lining up to enable and empower these billionaires to fuck everyone because you think that they're doing it in your interest, and they 100% are not. There are very few times that a billionaire is looking out for other people. It happens, but it's not the billionaires we're dealing with. It's not Donald Trump. It's not Elon Musk. It's not, I mean, I don't know who else is involved in that bullshit, if I'm being honest with you. It ain't Mark Zuckerberg. It's not Jeff Bezos. These people are not looking out for you. But there you are, looking absolutely pathetic, lining up to lick their boots and tell them how great they are, while they are the ones that are absolutely fucking you over. With that said, I have run out of steam now and I got more shit to do, so I gotta go. Love you guys. Bye now.